Hi everyone, welcome to another episode at Down at the Dome. It's an exciting week for us as we have the Namibian rugby team visiting us. Today we have one of our players joining us, Andre van der Berg. Andre, welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks so much for having me. It's awesome to be here at the coast. We came here with a little bit of, still at the tail end of the east weather.
Yes.
It caught us a bit, but I mean, all in all today, yes, as soon as we woke up, as I know Swakop was misty, the guys had a good session. We ended off today with our last field session. It was beautiful as Swakop actually came in to play as well. A little bit of misty, a little bit of coldish weather, and it was just an absolute day for it to have a last day as well.
I think the weather definitely prepared you for everything.
It absolutely did. Yesterday we started off, we still had a little bit of the wind, the east wind coming in yesterday as well, and it was. It's sort of a challenge in Berg. We don't get that strong of a wind that early in the morning and stuff like that. I mean, but it, like you said, it also prepares us in a certain way. Our Coach Alistair even said, listen, the day that we play, we can't make excuses. If we had a bit of a stuff up with the first training, I think it was because of the wind. But I mean, you need to be adaptable towards your circumstances and stuff like that.
Yes. So before we talk rugby, I'd like to get to know you better. Who is Andre van der Berg? Where do you come from? What have you been doing before today?
Okay, so I born and bred in Berg, up until grade 12. Did a bit of a gap year, 3-month upskilling program in New Zealand, and then came back, spent the rest of the gap year just in Berg. Studied at Berg 3 years, did a BCom, and then played a bit of rugby after that in Pretoria. Came back again because of COVID, threw everything out. I actually decided, listen, I probably need to have a day job, because the first things that went out the door was sport and entertainment facilities when COVID came. So, and obviously not everyone knew how long that was going to last and whether you should make plans regarding that. So as soon as the borders started opening, the economy started growing again, me and my girlfriend actually opened a coffee roastery in Berg. Coffee shop, roastery, and a cafe as well. And so we started that. It's been a year, a little bit more than a year that I've been in Berg now, and so that's about it from the general life.
So tell us about the coffee roastery.
So my passion in coffee actually grew when we were in Potchefstroom. One of my mates, my sister actually had a coffee shop back in Berg. People weren't doing a really good job with the coffee that I could see of, and I actually asked my mate in Potchefstroom, he had a small coffee shop, and I just actually asked him if he could just teach me so I can teach her. And later on, I was so enjoying it so much during my off season there that he started asking me to help him, and I did a bit of that. Like I said, came back. When I was in Pretoria, I wasn't legally allowed to have a job there, so I played rugby in the evenings, and during the day I just got tired of being on my own. Then my other mate had a roastery on that side, and he asked for an immediate barista there, so I said, okay, I'll help him, absolutely. And he taught me a little bit more the different sides of coffee, and a bit more the specializing in coffee, and obviously as soon as someone cultivates you towards something and it gets the bug bites, you actually start growing a passion for it. And then just came back to Windhoek, and while I was working in the pharmaceutical industry a bit, and I absolutely hated it. I absolutely hated it. No. It was really not a thing that I could see myself doing for a whole lot. So I did that for 3 months, and then I was sitting there thinking, listen, and then it was COVID obviously, and I was like, I had to do something productive with my life. If the rugby thing doesn't work out immediately, because as we all know, the semi-professional rugby in Namibia, it's growing, but it wasn't there at that stadium. Then we just decided there wasn't good enough coffee spots to my liking in Berg, not specialized enough towards my liking, like I said, and consistent enough. So then we just said, listen, this is probably a gap in the market, we could go for that. It's been going really, really well. Going really well.
That's awesome. And that's something that you're going to continue doing.
That's something that it doesn't really matter where life takes you. It doesn't really matter where life takes me. I'll I'll always have that, although the management might change and stuff might adapt towards something like that. But that's something that'll stay there. It's a passion that I've grown to like really much. I think it's the communion that really builds. I mean, starting the coffee roastery, the amount of people that we've actually got to know through just clients and networking opportunities and just making good friends. I think that's why I like the coffee industry so much. Is we usually when I was at Potchefstroom, our cell leader and our church leader, we always met for coffees, and it was always for me like to sit.
Yeah, coffee joins
everyone. Just joins everyone. And even if someone doesn't like coffee, like hot chocolate or something, just sit down. We just here to drink coffee or whatever, and just have a enlightened conversation about anything really. So that's the thing that I've grown passionate about. I mean, obviously good coffee on the one side, but the ability that it brings to have people just to sit down. It's not nobody's demanding anything of someone else. It's just sipping and having. At the end, it just opens up the conversation. So I think that's why I grew really passionate about that.
Okay. Tell me your love for rugby. That started at a young age,
that started at a young age. It's just I think when I was 4 or 5, earlier even, my dad chucked the rugby ball. Man, I really enjoyed the art of it from a young age. Even to be passing to the left and to the right hand side, it was always for me a thing to be able to kick the ball good and the right way. And as soon as you start doing that, obviously you excel a little bit faster, and as you excel, you obviously start to love the thing more as well. So the rugby thing is I've always had a passion for the game.
Your career in rugby, how did the progression go? I know your varsity or any that was in the COVID times. So how did your career progress to you being here now?
So it's actually like a really up and down story, to be honest. I think that's how life goes at the end. Obviously the path that God has you on, and obviously as He guides you towards certain stuff. So I actually played for VIS. Afterwards, like I said, New Zealand a little bit, and then I went to Pika, played there, was in the Varsity Cup set up the whole time, and as soon as the last time that I was actually going to be part of the team, I reckon, was the COVID thing, so that cancelled everything about. So I just decided to stay in Windhoek, went to Pretoria, Naka Rugby Club, where I was like sort of semi-pro contracted as well. Really enjoyed the rugby there. Like I said, COVID really gave, in the middle of the season, it just stopped everything again. And because I was in Namibia living there, it made it difficult a little bit, and I wasn't allowed to get a full-time job, so I wasn't to take my mind off stuff happening from the rugby, and we're not practicing the whole day, so it made it really hard. And then I came back, like I said, last year I played for Wanderers, the rugby club in Windhoek, and I was able to get my first 2 caps in our Europe tour last year. First cap against Spain, and then the second cap against Canada. And then from there on, as the Mzansi Cup progressed, I was privileged enough to be a part of that. I think it's a really hard thing for Namibia in the past, especially we don't really have a sort of high performance setup up until the World Cup begins, and that's usually the coaches, the management, everyone always says that's too late to have it, which is appropriate. I mean, 4 years playing club rugby, and it's not a problem. Club rugby, I mean, it's good for some players, but if you want to compete against the best, as the Namibian team are playing against France, the All Blacks, those guys have 4 years of high performance competitions that they're participating in. Club rugby level, you can expect to do something, errors, especially knocking the ball, it's fine, you'll get it back somehow or another. I think the higher the performance goes and the competition is, you don't have that space for error. And I think that even within Mzansi Cup, it's just a level 2 levels above the club rugby, but you can immediately see how behind we were at the start of the competition, just being not mindful enough how we're playing. But as we grow and we're full of certain things still in place within this competition against next year, but being in a high performance setup where you can constantly grow, and being forced to not make as much errors, because an error means points against you.
So you saying that, do you see a difference in your playing since last year and now with everything that's been put in place and you guys progressing to the high performance?
Absolutely. I think playing wise, obviously upskilling is there because you have a lot more players that want to be better, other than club rugby level, which like I said, I absolutely understand club rugby level. You play the whole day, or you work the whole day, you come in the evenings, and you just want to chuck the ball around with your mates. Up until the level where you actually want to progress something, you want to win the game. So more guys pushing towards a certain goal, so you're forced to run with them.
Yeah.
Otherwise you get left behind. So just basically like upskilling your passes, your kicks. And then a big thing is just game understanding.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing that Coach Alistair brought in with us as we did a lot of video analysis with our Mzansi Cup, because he saw the lack wasn't necessarily the will or the skills per se, it was the understanding of the game, that what to do where and what we can't afford to do at certain places on the field, because that just means points against you or you put pressure back on. So that was a big thing especially for our local players, because everyone just wants to run the ball.
Yeah.
From your own community, you want to run the ball, and you've grown to that because of club rugby level. Everyone wants to see running rugby, which is totally understandable. But when it comes to a little bit of a higher caliber of rugby, he did an excellent job. Like I said, at the start of the season, we were really on the back foot of our game understanding, and you can see as we grew, when to kick the ball, when to pass the ball, when not to do certain things. I think that's the main thing. It's just the game understanding towards certain pressure points.
I think for many Namibians, the squad that's currently now together, and you were even more. So many of us, or so many people look at it like, why so many rugby players? You only need 15 going to the world on the field.
Yeah.
Why a squad of 60 players? But at the end of the day, you need that bigger pool so that you feed your competition well. Do you think that also makes a difference in you as players pushing each other, competing against each other to make sure I'm the one that's being chosen? Do you think that makes a difference? I
think it absolutely does. I think coming into the setup, it's not a lax mode anymore that you get from club rugby level. I'm only personally from my personal. I know a lot of guys play in professional unions in South Africa and in America and in England and France. So they, like I said, they're used to that. Yeah. Whereas the gap for us as local players is quite big, and it has a lot to do with mindset. And the pool of 60 players is so important towards, like you said, having good competition to practice against. And then also as well as the few guys that don't make the squad to tour or for the World Cup. I mean, they with the right mindset, if they come in, they leave better. Like I said, there can only be 15 players on the field. They only take a certain amount of people to the World Cup, but you as a player can still walk out better. And I think that's automatically the goal that everyone is reaching for. Obviously, it's a bit of a stinger when you don't get on the game day 15 playing against like France with the All Blacks or facing the Haka or something like that. But in your mind, if you feel that yourself, listening, I'm bettering each day, I mean, that's like I said, automatically the goal that you should have for yourself. And I think the Scamp has been doing that really well for us. Okay.
Tell me, from a personal perspective, I mean, because it's a lot of pressure on you as a rugby player. I mean, the training you guys have had this week. How important is your support that you receive from family, friends? You mentioned your girlfriend. How important would that support system be for you? Considering all of this preparation leading up to the World Cup.
For me personally, it's been actually, can't find the word now, but it's been, you can't put a value on it actually. I just came out of an injury like 3 weeks ago, so for 2 months I was off, which so my fitness dipped, obviously my confidence dipped with that. I wasn't able to get the last few games, so I wasn't really gelling with the players that I would have liked. My game understanding, I wouldn't say dropped, but I was in the moment, so I couldn't force myself to do certain stuff and try certain stuff. So coming into the camp, I was already felt a little bit on the back foot. But the support from players, family members, my pastors and people that I allow to sow seed into my life. It's been really people praying over me for the injury to be healed. I think it's been nothing short of, like I said, it's not, you can't really put a value on it. I mean, there's been days I've walked off the field during in Windhoek or here, and I did have a little bit of still of a like, is my knee good? Is it not good? Mindset, like, did I have a good practice or not? And I have a message of someone that is backing me, saying, listen, you need to focus on this and this and this and this. Even my coach from Wanderers, he keeps sending me stuff to say, listen, this is how you get from point A to point B on the field. I'd send him a message saying, listen, I feel a bit flustered, or certain stuff I don't know, and then he'll send me a link towards certain stuff.
Yeah.
And I tried, and like I said, even though it doesn't work, it's someone that's standing there saying, listen, how can I help? Especially from the coaching staff here, there's been nothing short of, like, I have a question, or I have a need, or I have a problem with something. I think that the support is mostly what counts at the end as well. Yeah.
A few times you've mentioned now your spiritual relationship, or your spiritual view of life. Is that something that's important to you? Is that what you base your life on?
Yeah, I think it's the most important thing. I wouldn't say anything else. Can't really say it's something that I base my life on, my views on, my moral views, even stuff on and off the field. I mean, everyone plays rugby towards a certain extent and gets on the field to reach a certain goal. But I think obviously community and your spiritual, I mean, it's mind, body and spirit. I think your spiritual, especially in a camp or in a professional setup, whether it be professional sports, professional entertainment, professional business, your spiritual view on life needs to be, you need to know where you are aligned with, to be able to make decisions that will not or will impact your life in a positive or negative way, even when you're off the field.
Yeah.
Certain convictions are,
So let's have some fun questions as well.
Yeah.
So tell me, if you could invite 3 people to dinner,
Yes.
dead or alive, who would you invite? And why?
And why as well. So I'd probably get Owen Wilson, the comedian, just to like break the ice for everyone. Probably get a comedian in there just so everyone doesn't, because I'm not an entertainer when it comes to something like that, so I need someone to entertain the rest of the guests. My sports hero is definitely Johnny Watkinson, so I'll get him in there as well, just to have
I can see the playing correlations.
Yeah.
I can see
so I'll have him in there as well. And then thirdly,
not even your mother?
no man, I still see her every day. No, I honestly, I don't. I'm trying to get someone that'll really get to join the party. If I have these 3 guys, I need to get someone good. I don't.
Okay, you'll think about.
I'll think about that. Yeah.
So tell me, what is something fun that you do when you're not roasting coffee, when you're not playing rugby? What do you do to enjoy yourself?
So I love a bit of backyard cricket, just to unwind, and then also just I think that the most relaxing thing for me is to listen to podcasts.
Okay.
Things that I know will have a so good seed in my life. Not just any, almost the word, not just any type of podcast that just for entertainment. Something that I know, whether it be spiritual or mental, or something that I know I can really. Even when I'm done, I invested my time towards something that's building me. Even though it's just relaxing, or then just music as well. Something that I really enjoy is just a good movie as well. I think I'm on my feet all day, whether it be rugby or in the coffee shop, serving coffee, or with the roaster. So usually when I get home and it's something that I unwind, I think my mum and my dad really get mad at me sometimes because I'm just in and I just still tell them, listen, I love you guys, but I'm just going to go lay on my back now. And I'll just watch a movie, something, when it comes to movies, I'll watch something that is not too mentally exhausting. Just something funny, just to like really unwind me a little bit. I think that's how my days go. It's really boring sometimes. I know when I'm at the coast, I love to go for surf.
Okay.
But yeah, that water. The day before we went for recovery swim. I'm not getting in that water now. It's way too cold this time of the year. Yeah.
So one last question.
Yeah.
If there's a 10-year-old boy watching you now,
Yeah.
what's the message you have for that boy?
Yes, I think that the main thing is to find out what your path is. At 10 years old, I think you should still have fun with what you're doing. Not take life too seriously in any way. You never know when it's like the last day. I know might sound a little bit tragic, but I mean, you never know when it really is your last day. And then when you get something that you love, something that you're passionate about, I think so good in towards reaching a goal. Set yourself goals. Whether you achieve them or not, you know at least you're a goal-driven person. And I think that will be set yourself goals, whether you reach them or not. I think it's important to fail as well, and don't be afraid to fail. I think that's the main message I'll say is you need to keep failing over and over and over again to be able to come to a certain point where listen, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this works, and when that guy's grown a bit and he's able to mentor someone else, it's much easier for him to say, let's do this, it works. Yeah. So obviously at the end you want to plant seeds to grow trees which 2 generations from you can sit under. So I think it's important for you to be fearless. I know fearless in pursuit of set your soul on fire, but I mean to be really passionate about something and not being afraid to fail. Yeah.
Andre, thank you so much.
You so much.
I learned so much about you and who you are and what makes you tick. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy the rest of the camp.
Thank you so much. We at least had our last day training, so I think a few guys will just head into town and go sit on the beach a little bit today.
Yeah.
Really explore Swakop a bit as well.
Yeah. Thanks for joining
Thanks
me.
so much.
Thanks for joining us. See you soon.